Wait, aren't there year sixes?
Hmm?
The year six tutoring as well?
Yes. So how do you know about that? We haven't announced it yet.
Um,
Wait,
when we
aren't they?
Sorry?
how we used to have the Sunday Zoom classes,
Uh-huh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah,
then
and
there's
that's year
yeah.
six right after, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we're restarting that next term, but I don't think it will be available for the online kids, unfortunately, just because we don't have enough kids to do online anyways.
Doing?
So
Are there going to be extra classes?
so there are extra classes this term. So there'll be one happening tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. And then I'm running three extra classes as well, free of charge, which is next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Is that the master
Wait,
class?
are you going to send that in the group?
Well, as in you guys know about it now, right? So I've
Mm.
already sent it in the group before, but yeah, I think you guys should take note of it. And then the master class, which Ayush is asking about, that's happening on the Thursday. But again, I don't think that would have an online option. We don't think because of how hectic it gets, we don't think we might be able to run a live stream of it. We will look into it, we'll try, but it's very unlikely.
Melvin.
Hmm.
So what did you say was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
Oh yeah, so basically, next week on I believe, four, 4th, 5th, and 6th of March from 4 to 6 p.m. Is it 4 to 6 p.m.? I think I said 4 to 6 or 5 to 7. I'll just double check and confirm and send it to the group chat as well. But yeah, we will have some extra classes. So just like the Zoom classes where we go through some questions, you know?
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 5 to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I want to leave the last 10, 15 minutes just to go through with the things you guys should be focusing on. Basically, kind of like the things that I like to talk about in the master class, but then just have a 1 second, let me close the door. My parents are cooking. So basically just a run through of the things I will be talking about in the master class. Just so that you guys don't miss out on that information as well. But for now, yeah, I'm happy to take any questions you guys have within the test. So if you want to send it through in the chat, I'll try to go through them for you.
Are we allowed to say from past
Sorry?
exams?
Sorry?
Are you allowed to ask from previous mock exams?
Yeah, sure. If we have time at the end, I'm more than happy to go through previous mock exams as well.
Do we have to go to Perth to do gate?
I don't think you guys will have to go to Perth. There should be an option near where you live.
Yeah, in where I live, there will be.
Yeah.
In where we live, yeah.
Yeah, so it's usually at a local school. All right, send through your questions. Which ones would you like to go through?
Question. I got one from.
So shall we start off with mock exam 5 first? And then if you have
Yeah.
time, we'll go through previous 4 mock exams.
Okay. Question 17 from math.
All right. By the way, yeah, if you guys could send it in the chat, that way I have a record of it. So the rest of you, so Jace and Ayush, Mustafa, send it in the chat so I can take a look. So question number 14 to 17, it talks about there are 2 panes of glass with each pane being split into 2 halves, a lighter half and a darker half. The following images are panes of glass. The lighter half increases the intensity of light by a given percentage, while the darker half decreases the intensity by a given percentage. The initial light intensity is always at 100%. The change in intensity through the glass panes is additive, meaning that you add it, so 10 plus 10 like that. For example, if you had 3 light panes, each at 5%, the light intensity would be 100, 5, 5, 5, which is 115. Okay. Question number 17 says, a fog machine was set up in order to lower the intensity of the light as it travels through the fog. If the glass panes are 1 meter apart from each other, and the intensity of light decreases by 10% for every meter, this is an additive change. And what distance from the bottom half of the first glass pane would the intensity of the light reach 15%? Sorry, at what distance from the bottom half of the first glass pane would the intensity of light reach 15%? You may assume that the fog is only between the panes of glass and that the thickness of glass panes are negligible. So if you were to kind of like put that information kind of here in, it would say that this distance, what is this? Oh, sorry, that's my sister. She just made some sort of like new drink and she was like, do you want to try? And she gave it to me. And it was the most disgusting thing. Ugh. Oh my God. Do you guys have siblings?
Yeah,
I have two brothers.
Okay.
I have
All
a
right.
brother and a sister.
I have one brother.
All right. So, okay. So in between the glass panes, there's a 1 meter difference. And it says that, first of all, for every meter, it decreases by 10%, right? So between the first two glass panes, it decreases by 10%. So 10% loss. And the second two glass panes is another 10% loss, right? Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
And then-
why is it 10% loss?
Because it says here that light decreases by 10% for every meter, and
Oh.
that the glass panes are 1 meter apart from each other. Okay?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the previous question says that fog reduces 50% of a glass effectiveness. For example, if half the glass pane was 50% dark, it'll now be 20% dark. So right now it is 10% here, negative 10%, negative 7.5%, and negative 5%. I believe, sorry.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, so I believe that's all the different things that are changing put in place, right? Now, if you were to look at the bottom half of it, let's try to like try and calculate how the light would go. So let me just double check the question. A fog machine was set up in order to lower the intensity of fog as it travels through the fog. If the glass panes are 1 apart from each other and the intensity of light decreases, at what distance from the bottom half of the first glass plane will the intensity of light reach 15%? Okay. I think I did this part wrong. It's plus and plus, my bad. Plus 15%, does that have minus 10, minus 10, minus 10. Okay. Yeah, weirdly in this question, it doesn't take into account the fog. I'm just checking the answer key. So yeah, it would just be minus 10% and minus 10%. So if the light starts at 100%, it loses 20%, so now it's at 80%. Minus another 10%, that's 70%. Then it adds 15%, so now it's at
95.
yeah, 95. And then it loses wait, sorry, are you sure?
85.
85.
85. And then it loses 10%, so now it's at
75.
75.
and then it adds a 10%, and now it's at
95.
so at the end of it, the end of the whole experience, it's at 85%, right?
Yeah.
And I think what the question is saying is that from there, so essentially from there, for it to go down to 15%, like from what distance do we measure it again, right? If you have a camera here, like, at what distance do we measure that? So between 85 and 15%, there's a difference of 70%, correct?
Yeah.
and 70%, and it says that it decreases by 10% every 10 meters, right? So that means it needs to decrease by 7 meters. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not- yeah.
So there's 1 meter here, 2 meters here, and then 7 meters. So that's a total of 9 meters. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do a quick recap of that again. So basically, here's one thing we know. The first thing we know is that every meter, so this is 1 meter of distance, it loses by 10%. So it's 1 meter here, 1 meter here, it loses by 10%. Now, the light started off at 100% here. Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
Minus 20% is 80, minus 10 is 70. 70 plus 15 is 85. 85 minus 10 is 75. And 75 plus 10 is
85?
85. So at this point here, it's 85% of the same light. But then for every 1 meter that it goes across, it loses 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
And the question's asking, between the bottom half of the first pane of glass from here, how much distance will the light travel before it reaches 15%? Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first meter, it goes to 75%. And the next meter, it goes down to how much?
65,
Yeah, then,
55,
then,
45,
then,
35,
and then,
25,
and then.
15,
All right, so how many is that? 1,
7.
2, 3, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. But then there's also these 2 meters here, so that's a total of 9 meters. Do you guys understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a fairly challenging question. I would say the only thing that I would fix with this question would be this fog machine line here is confusing because you would assume that you should make this 10% and then plus 7.5 and then plus 5 instead, and that would change up the numbers. But you didn't need to do that. So I think the question could be better there. Next question. Next question, guys.
I sent you in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. My bad. All right, let's see. Question 18, quantitative reasoning. All right, this question here. The following information is relevant to the next 2 questions. The body mass index is one indicator that is used by doctors to assess the health of patients. The BMI shows a relationship between mass and the height of patient, where BMI is mass over height, and where mass is, M is mass, which is kilograms, and H is height. The following height and weight of 4 patients are shown. Mass is that, height is that, mass is that, height is that, etc. What is the mass and height of a patient S if S has a mass halfway between R and P and is 15 centimeters taller than R? So between R and P, R weighs 100, P weighs 60. So what's the mass of S? If it's
80.
half between these two?
80.
Yeah.
80.
80. And then 15 centimeters taller than R. So what's 1.25 plus 15?
140.
Yep, 1.40. Good. Which patient has the highest BMI? So an easier way to figure that out is BMI is mass divided by height, right? So when you have a lower height and a higher, if you have a lower height, the BMI increases. If you have a higher mass, the BMI increases. Do you guys understand?
Mhm.
Another way to think about it is when you have a number, so let's just say the top number is pizzas and the bottom number is friends. A way to figure out like what happens to how many slices of pizza each person gets is when you have when you have less friends, but the same number of pizzas, do each person get more or less slices?
More.
More.
More, right? When you have the same number of friends, but then you have more pizzas, do each person get more or less pizzas?
Less.
Think again. Same number of friends,
More.
but more pizzas.
More.
More. Because if you have one pizza and two friends, it'll be less than if you have 10 pizzas and two friends. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 10 pizzas, two friends is obviously bigger than, 4 pizzas and two friends. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So in that case, the person with the highest BMI has to have the biggest weight and the lowest height. And by looking at it, which person has the shortest height and the biggest weight?
R.
Exactly. R is very short, and then they're 100 kilograms heavy. So the answer is R. Do you understand?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let's take 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly turn on the air conditioning. I'll be right back.
Need a word that ends in E.
All right. Next question we have. Can you discuss writing ideas on that pic? Good. A fun fact, this picture was very similar to an actual GATE topic that I think one of my students got either 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So the actual image was basically 4 people sitting together looking sad, and one person is in color. So the actual image had color, so they were like yellow, and they're holding a balloon and they're happy. So looking at this image, first things first, if you wrote a story about a person getting a balloon and they're happy because of that, do you generally think that that's the most creative way to look at it?
No.
No, because it's literally a lady with a balloon and you're just writing about a lady with a balloon. That's not a great way to think about it. Another way to think about it is look at all these people. They're all sad. And she's got something and she's very happy. Do these people, look happy for her?
No.
They might
No.
look jealous.
Sorry? Yeah, they kind of look jealous, right? And a very good idea you could actually write about is in Australia, there's this very famous, there's this phenomenon called tall poppy syndrome. Has anyone heard of it?
No.
So it's not a real medical issue, but tall poppy syndrome is where in countries like certain countries, like for example, like Australia is one of them, when someone gets successful or they get beyond where everyone else is, they like to talk down on them. So they like to say, "Oh yeah, they only got this because of that." They like to do that. It's the analogy or the metaphor is basically imagine you have a field full of poppies, right? That they're all growing. The one that grows above everyone else is the first one to get cut. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could literally write about that. This girl, she's very happy with her life and, she's happy with her balloon and everyone around her, instead of being happy for her, they're jealous. But instead of writing an actual balloon, you guys could write about, for example, your personal lives. How many kids in your school right now? So, for example, like Anne, Mustafa, Jace, Momina, and Ayush. How many kids from your school right now are studying on a Tuesday afternoon?
Quite a lot.
Probably 0.
Yeah, not many of them are coming in doing this work like the way you guys are. Some of you guys, for example, my face-to-face kids, you guys are coming in on the weekends and you're doing a full day of school from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. So, you guys are putting so much more work in. You guys are sacrificing your free time to do studies and things like that. And obviously, you guys will eventually get the reward of that, which is whatever you want it to be. So you could write a story about basically a girl or a boy who studied very hard. Everyone made fun of her or him for studying all the time instead of enjoying or playing games and stuff like that. And when this kid did eventually succeed, all their friends were jealous of her, and she realized that they were not her true friends. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
How
one.
does the problem solve?
Sorry.
How does the problem then get solved?
Very good question, Mustafa, actually. Very good question. I think if I were to write that story, I would write it in a way where that in the beginning, the girl or the boy is very sad about being left out and, not being included and being made fun of. But towards the end of the story, they accept the fact that they want to be successful in life, they want to do well, and not everyone will be happy for them. And they just have to, realize that better friends will come in the future. You understand?
Yeah.
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 Did any of you have any interesting ideas for this topic?
I mean, but I didn't write about it because I thought of it after.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have an idea as well, but I didn't do it after as well. I thought of it
I'll go
after.
to Momia, then I'll go to Ayush.
So there are people around a table telling a young girl like the world is like a balloon, like it could pop at any moment, like you could die at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use your time wisely.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay. Ayush, what about you?
That like some people have different opinions because like some people think of the balloon as bad and some other people think of the balloon as good, like
Mhm.
the person in the middle.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Anyone else have any interesting ideas about this?
What would you have written about it?
Oh, I just said what I would write about. Actually, the reason I wrote about that was actually like it's again something I personally experienced as well, both in primary school and high school, but even now when I'm like, older, it's something that, it's very personal to me. So I think it's something that a lot of like people can relate to. When you work hard for something, not everyone wants you to succeed.
Yeah.
I think there's a famous quote. It goes, everyone wants you to succeed, but just not more than them. Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's what,
mean.
yeah. Like for example, like everyone in your school says, like either their studies or for sports and stuff, they say, oh yeah, you got this, you got this, you got this. But as soon as you win the gold medal and they don't, then they're like, oh, she probably cheated. She's got an expensive coach or whatever. All right, next question. Let's take a look. Question number 9, quantitative reasoning. Okay. Rahul's Ferrari is 3 meters long, is traveling on a freeway at 110 meters per second and overtakes a 17-meter long truck traveling at 100 meters per second. How long in seconds does it take for the car to overtake the truck? So basically the visual diagram tells us exactly how much distance we need to cover. So we need to cover a total of, so imagine if this is a starting point. So we need to cover this distance. How much is this?
17 meters.
17 meters. And then we need to go from, so if this is the starting point, the front of the truck, we need to go all the way up to here. And how much is this distance here? 3 meters. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Another way to look at it is if this is the starting position, this whole distance is
20.
meters. 3 and 17. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, it needs to overtake 20 meters. And how much faster is the car going than the truck?
10 meters a second faster.
Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's traveling at 10 meters per second faster. Now, time, if you guys remember from your school, is distance divided by speed. So that is distance is 20 meters, speed is 10. What's 20 divided by 10?
2.
2 seconds. Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
So it would be A.
C.
See.
No, sorry. C as in yes in Spanish.
Oh.
Wait,
C.
Melvin, can you please say it again?
Yeah, sure. So, Mustafa, what's the distance between, like, to cover for the car from here to go all the way to here?
14.
Are you sure it's 14? The car is 3 and the truck is 17.
20.
20. That's right. So there's 20 meters to travel. That's a distance, right?
Yeah.
And the car is traveling 10 meters per second faster than the truck. Do you see that?
Oh.
So you do
Yeah.
Yeah.
distance divided by speed and you get time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at question number 23.
No, wouldn't there be space in between the two cars, in the two vehicles?
So based off the diagram, you're assuming that there's like, if it was hypothetically perfect. So it's not that they're like imagine they're on 2 different lanes. So this
Yeah.
is lane 1, this is lane 2. The car is here and the truck is right there. And the question is how long does it take for the car to go from there to here?
Oh, okay.
Melvin,
Yeah.
by the way, thank you for putting my name in there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mustafa. And then I included Rahul, and then I
And
included Jace, and then let's see,
in question 4.
Ayush is there, and then Anne has some candy. All right.
And you added Mormina's name.
Yes, Momina is in question number. Which question was she in?
Oh,
I don't know.
12. Yeah, Momina's room. She's washing her room.
Oh.
All right. Next question number 23. Okay, 2 friends, Dion and Jacob, decided to run a lap around the oval. They start at the same point and time, but run in opposite directions. If Dion runs 12 meters per second and Jacob runs 10 meters per second, if they meet at some different point on the oval after running for a minute, what is the circumference of the oval? All right. So imagine this is my oval, right? This is my oval. And then Dylan and Jacob start from here. Jacob goes this direction, Dion goes this direction. Are they running towards each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So if
Yeah.
they're running towards each other, you would assume that their speed is adding up, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so their speed is adding up. Now, Dion runs 12 meters per second and he runs for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much distance will he cover? 12 times 60. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
wait, why is it times 60?
Because
Yeah.
it's meters per second, and then he's running for 1 minute.
Oh,
12 times 60, what's 12 times 6?
4.
72.
Oh.
72?
2.
Yeah. So then 720.
Good job, 720. And then Dion runs at 10 meters for 60 seconds, and that's a total distance of
600.
600. So that means that they run a total of 1,120.
No,
320.
Sorry, I made a mistake. 0 to 7 plus 6 is
13.
1320. Do you guys understand?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next question. Question number 4. Right. I wonder why Ayush chose this question to do.
I didn't get it.
Oh, is that why, Ayush?
Yeah, it actually is.
Melvin,
Okay. Yeah.
in my
So,
question, I kept trying to get it right.
sorry.
I was desperate to get my question right.
Did you get it right?
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
I didn't get mine right.
All
I got
right.
mine right.
But Melvin,
Yeah.
I knew this like as a fact. Sydney is meant to be 9 hours ahead of
Yeah,
Greece.
yeah. So I think the that is like if you like, for example, if you're using common sense, you can cancel out option A, and you can cancel out option
B.
D,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
The other ones you can choose. But then again, it doesn't matter if you know geography or not. You should still be able to solve it. So let's break it down one at a time. So Ayusha's grandfather left, so he arrived in Sydney from Greece at 10 p.m. on a Friday after a 25-hour trip. And he left at 12 noon. So imagine this. He left at 12 p.m. If it took 25 hours to travel, what time should he theoretically arrive at?
1.
He should have arrived at 1 p.m. on Friday, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He actually arrived at 10 p.m. That means that there's a time difference of
no.
9 hours. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so Sydney's now ahead.
9 hours ahead.
Mm.
Yeah. Next question. What question would you like to do next? That's all that are in the chat.
Oh,
I sent one.
I went through yours, right? Oh no, you wanted to go through mock exam 4, correct?
I got
No.
one.
Send another one.
Oh, could you guys send those questions again? I can't see it. Send it again, please.
Yeah.
All right, question number 1. 2 people with question number 1. Centicubes are cubes with 1 centimeter edge length. Isla makes a solid cube of 6 centimeters edge length. It was a centicubes. Sorry. She removes a few centicubes from the solid to make square holes. What is the volume of the shape on the right? So starting off with this, what is the volume on the shape on the left, guys? 6 times 6 times 6 is?
The
36 times
200
60.
216.
Yeah.
16. Right. So on the left-hand side is 216 centimeters cubed. Now, on the right-hand side, let's figure it out. It is 4 meters by 4 meters by 4 meters, right? So this
Yeah.
shape, this cube in the center, right? If you were to fill it in, that this thing here is 4 times 4 times 4, which is?
64.
Oh,
Is it 64?
Yeah.
no.
16
Oh,
times
64. 64.
All right. But so you would assume that so if the hole in the middle is 64 centimeters cubed, you think that you can just remove 64 from 216, right? But
Yeah.
that wouldn't work because we have to remove this part as well. Do you see this little cuboid here on each of the edges? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
And the dimensions for that is 4 times 4. And what's this distance here? So let me highlight that. What's this distance here? What's this depth? Sorry?
Wouldn't it be 2?
It's not 2. Remember, these are made up of centicubes. And what do the questions say centicubes are?
1 centimeter
So,
edge.
Yeah, so it is a 1 by 1 by 1. So 1, 1, and then by 1. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this distance here is 1. So that means one of these faces, so one of this face is 4 times 4 times 1, which is?
16.
16.
And how many faces did we remove? We removed one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one at the bottom. How much is that?
Yeah.
How much is that? 6 faces.
Yeah.
16 times 6?
Wait, but Melvin, how did you get 4 So you can do 4 times 4 times 1.
So it's 4 in height. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 in width, and it's 1 in depth.
Oh, 4 times 4 times 1, and then times 6 because you did 6 faces.
That's right. 6 times 6 is 36, and 3 goes there. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So now we have 64 plus 96 and 216 minus these two numbers. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Can you go through that again, Melvin?
Yes. So where did you get stuck at?
Just like when you were doing. I just
Okay.
didn't really understand the question.
Okay. So basically, imagine, have you ever had a cob loaf before? Cob loaf?
No.
So it's like that thing. I can't think of another example. It's basically like those breads where you have like a loaf bread like this, and they've removed the inside of the bread and they've put it with cheese inside, and then you dip the bread in and eat it. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine this is a very geometrically perfect Kobe loaf, right? You made a cube of a loaf, all right? Now you take out all of the insides of this loaf. So you remove this face part of it on all of this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So to give you an example, it would be like you remove this here like this, like a shape like that, and you remove 6 of them because there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one at the back, and one at the bottom. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then you also remove a perfect square within it, sorry, a perfect cube, which is 4 by 4 by 4 by 4, which is the inside part. Do you see that? This part here?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
trying to find out the area of, so to find out how much is just this remaining part, we find out the total of the original loaf, and then you subtract away the parts we've removed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parts we removed 4 by 4 by 4 is 64. And then this cuboid here, the dimensions was 4 by 4 by 1. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you know why it's 4 by 4 by 1?
Not really.
Okay. The reason is this length here is 4, right?
Yeah.
Height is 4. But then do you see this depth here that's really thin?
Yeah.
That is 1, because in the question it says centicubes are 1 centimeters in length. So they removed 1 centicube from this side here. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then, yeah, so you subtract it. So you do 216 minus 16 times 6 and minus 64. And you get, what's the answer?
E.
Okay.
So 96 plus 64, which is 160, and then 216 minus 160.
So 216 minus 64 is 152, okay? And then 16 times 6 is 96. So when you remove 96, you will get 56.
Oh, so it's B.
Yeah, B.
Oh, because it said A in the thing.
Yeah, sorry, it must be a typo. Times 6. Wait, let me double check. Yeah, sorry, it's an error. It is B.
Oh, okay.
6 times 6 times 6. Yeah, 216 minus 64 minus 96. Yep, it's B. All right. Next question that you guys wanted to go through. Let's see, 20, 21, 34, and 5. Let's start with 5. All right. Did anyone figure out question number 5?
No.
I guess I got it right.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
it right.
But you guys don't know how to solve it?
Well,
I tried, but I guessed.
I'll give you a
Right.
clue.
Oh,
oh, oh,
Do you get it?
oh.
What? No.
I'll show it to you again.
oh,
I can't see anything.
You
this
can see the screen?
Oh wait, yeah, I do get it. I did get it.
Okay,
I thought we're looking at, yeah, I did get it.
awesome.
Because
So
my
that's
screen
that's question number.
was zoomed in.
Okay. That's question number 5. Then question number 20 and 21. Okay. The following map is relevant to the next 2 questions. The map below shows a percentage of population in each state that owns cats as a pet. Take the total population of Australia to be 25 million. The labels at the bottom are in order of the biggest to smallest. So, for example, New South Wales is 32%, and then Tasmania is at 1%. So, Northern Territory. How many cat owners are there in Queensland? So, Queensland has 16 million, and 16% of 25 million. And out of that 16%,
Not there.
Queensland. So, New South Wales, Victoria, Queens. Sorry, 20% of 16% of 25 million people have a cat. So
Wait,
to
what
figure
question is this?
20.
20. Oh, got it wrong.
So 25 million times 16%, 0.16, gives us a population of Queensland. What's that? So
oh,
excuse me. So that's 4 million. And then out of the 4 million, 20% of them have cats. What's that equal to?
20%. That's yeah.
800,000.
oh, okay.
Oh,
But this is 4 million, not 4.
Why do
Yeah.
you times it by 0.2?
Because it's 20%.
Oh,
Whenever you want to find percentage of something, you just multiply it by that percentage. All right. Next question number 21. Which state has the most cat owners relative to its population? Taking a look, an easy way to think about it is this is Victoria at the bottom right? Victoria has 11% of the total population, but they have 26% of their cat population has cats. Oh, actually, sorry. No, you don't have to do any of that. The question is just saying which percentage has the most cat owners relative to its population, right? And this chart here is basically telling us the percentage of cats within a population, correct?
yeah.
So that means that which state has the most cats?
So you don't.
I can't really see the colors.
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
don't,
see.
you don't have to. The question says the labels at the bottom are in order of the biggest to smallest. So New South Wales at 32%, and Tasmania 1%. So New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, WA, South Australia, Tasmania, ACT, and Northern Territory.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
So the state which has the most percentage of cats is New South Wales because they have 32% cats. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. Next. 34. Okay. Which of the following values for x would satisfy this equation / inequality? So basically, it's saying that this left-hand side is smaller than 11. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try it out. If I put 1 in here, 9 times 1 is?
9 minus
Yeah, 9 minus 1 is?
8.
8 times 5?
40.
40 divided by 3?
37.
40 divided by 3.
Oh, divided. 13 remainder 1.
Yeah, 13. So is 13 less than 11?
No.
No. Let's try x equals 2. 9 minus 2 is
7.
7,
times 5.
35,
5.
35 divided by 3.
11 remainder 2.
Yeah, so it's not less than 11, right?
Yeah.
Right? Now
Yeah.
finally 3. 9 minus 3 is
6,
6 times 5.
30,
30 divided by 3.
10.
10,
10 plus 1.
11.
11. So, oh, by the way, it should also not be that because it's not less than 11, correct?
Yeah. It's equal.
And finally, 6. 9 minus 6 is
3,
3. 3 times 5.
15.
15,
15 divided by 3.
5,
5
5.
plus 1,
6.
which is less than 11. So the answer is
D.
D. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can change the answer. I think in the answer sheet it said C, but the answer should
Yeah.
be D.
That's why I got it wrong.
Okay, 34D. All right. Would you guys like your 5-minute break now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, please.
You guys can have your 5-minute break. Come back at 5:11. 5:11. And I'll see you guys then. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's continue. I just got my tea. Did you guys get a snack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No,
Why didn't you get a snack, Mustafa?
I'm not hungry.
All right. All right, next few questions. Send it through. General ability 9, 15, and 16. All right, starting with 9. Okay, this question was actually pretty straightforward. Whenever you have a bunch of random things that are not moving around, usually it's like number of the objects or number of strokes or number of sides, things like that. So in here, if you look at it, looking across the row, you have two rainbows. There's only one rainbow, so you're assuming there must be two rainbows in this row. Or even looking down the column, you see two rainbows, okay? 3 suns, 3 suns. There's 0 suns here, and there's only 1 sun in any of them, so it means that it can't be like that. It must be 2 suns, 2 suns, 2 suns. Do you see that?
Oh yeah.
2 rainbows, 2 suns. All right. And then the number of triangles, 3 triangles, 3 triangles. So that means that in the middle, we should have 1 rainbow, 2 triangles, and 0 stars. And the answer is? All right, it could be C or D. And then the next thing we'll notice is that looking down the column, there's always only 1 gray rainbow. So the answer must be C.
See.
Down, down, up, up, down, down. All right. Next. Question number 15. Actually, I'll do 13 and then I'll go to 15. All right, 13. It's a very annoying pattern as well. But basically, if you look across the row, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 textured colors. Do you see that? Textured moons and 2 white ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 white ones. Do you see that?
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, there's 2 textured, so there must be 2 more textured. So the answer has to be A or D. Do you guys understand? Sorry,
Yeah.
A, B, or D.
Yeah.
Now the black is going +1, +1 across. All right. +1, +1 across. So here, if you were to kind of go backwards, it goes -1, and it should go -1 to this side, correct? And the answer is B, not D. Got it?
Yep.
Question number 15. Looking at it, I want to try number of lines, but let's see if that makes sense. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 3 doesn't make much sense. But they're
Oh.
also numbers, so let's just do numbers. 2, 7, 6, 9, 5, 1, 4, 3. Okay. Very interesting pattern. Do you guys see anything?
No.
It looks like Sudoku.
I see it. I see it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the answer
Oh.
is
I don't do
Yeah.
Sudoku.
I have a different one. Can I say a different one?
all right. And then the other one, there's another pattern.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go for it, Ayush. You can tell us.
It's like it's like I can't really describe it. It's like
So it
an
is
L
2
shape.
plus
Yeah.
9 plus 4 is
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
7 plus 3 plus 5 is 15. 6 plus 1, 7 plus 8 is 15.
Yeah.
And same thing across happens. So the answer is B. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then 16. 2 strokes, 3 strokes, 4 strokes, 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes, 4, 3, 2. Answer is A. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. 15. Oh, well, we've just done 15, my friend. 14. All right. 14 is actually such an annoying question. I'll be honest with you. It's such an annoying question. The pattern is the number of let's see if there's an simpler way to explain it. Yeah. The simpler way to explain it is it's a number of intersections that there is. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, and there should be 0. Now that could mean that this, A could make sense. And then here, let's see if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. No, it doesn't make sense. Sorry, that simple pattern doesn't make sense. I was trying to see if I can find something easier to explain to you guys. But the actual pattern is it's a number of right angles. 1 right angle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
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 +2 +4.
Yeah. And then the next one was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, it's +4, +4. Wait, did I miss something here?
No, wait,
I did.
Melvin.
It's 12, 11, 12. So it's +4, +4. Do you get it? And
Yeah.
then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And next one should be 8. And the one that has 8 is, I believe, this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. B. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got it?
Melvin.
Yep.
What questions like this come in the GATE exam?
If I'm being honest, my friend, I don't think you'll get anything as crazy as this question here.
Yeah, okay.
Ayush, question number 14. We've just done that.
Yeah.
So 31 by Anne Smith. I actually made this question. So the circle is going back 1, 2. Actually, sorry, the circle is going back 1, 2, -2. And it goes, oh, sorry, I'm starting in the wrong place. Silly me. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So the circle should be on the right-hand side here. So the answer doesn't help us at all. And the star here, it goes +1, +1, 2, +1, 2, 3, 4. And next one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Actually, can anyone figure this out? Geez, I'm so smart that I tricked myself. +1, +4. Sorry, +1, +2, +4. What comes next?
+7.
Good, +7. So from there it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer should be C. Anyone confused as to why it's +7?
No.
+1, +2, +3. Do you guys understand?
But Melvin,
Yes, sir.
the problem with this pattern is that sometimes people get confused and think it's doubling. Because like 1 to 2 is doubling and then 2 to 4 is doubling.
Good man, good man, good man. +8, right. I actually thought of this as well. So when I did this question, when I was making the question, I thought of that pattern as well. But I made sure that none of the answers make sense for that. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Too bad, Mustafa. If you were in person, you would have got a lolly for that. Such a good observation.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Next question. Yes, Anne Smith. Guys, if you didn't get 100% correct, you can ask me. Okay, fine. You can ask me from other mock exams as well. Right now, because you guys have free time, you can do any questions. Mustafa, which one?
What's the question of this one?
So which question from this first, Ayush, and then I'll go to Mustafa.
32 and 27.
32. So this one here.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually made this question as well. So the pattern is black, black, gray, gray, white, white, black. Next one should be.
Gray.
Gray.
Oh, think again.
Black.
Black, gray,
Black.
white, white, black, black.
Oh, Melvin.
Yeah.
Gray.
Wasn't that the one that someone asked you? Was it the same shade or not?
Sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. I think this is the question where you guys asked me if it's the same shade, but it doesn't
think
matter.
The circle one.
Sorry.
I think that was the circle one with like the circles.
Okay. And then the next one, let's take a look at the gray. So the gray goes +2 -1. Sorry, +2 -1 +2, and then it goes -1, and the answer is C.
Hey,
All right, next question.
Melvin.
Oh, Momina has one more, which was question number 4, mock exam 4, quantity. Oh, okay, so mock exam 4. Let's go to
Melvin,
yeah.
I think whoever asked you also asked you for 27.
Yeah. I also asked 27.
Oh, 27.
Yeah.
All right. I made this question as well. So this one +2 +1 +1 +2 +2 -1, and then at the bottom it was going +1. Next one should be
Plus
it could
one.
be either plus. So far we've already seen that they're all going +2 +1, right? So if you look at this, it went +1 +2, right?
Mhm.
And then the triangle went +2 -1, and then the smiley face thing here went +2 +1, and down
that should go.
column. Yeah, there's actually nothing that went down this column, strangely. And then so that should mean that down, so love heart went +2, and next one should be +1, like that, or it could be -1, and then the stop sign went +1, next one should be +2. Yeah, so
B.
that makes sense, is B for both of them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Melvin,
Yeah,
can you please say 28?
28. This one
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one here, if you focus on the left-hand side, it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. So each time, if you look across, the number of stars are increasing. So another way to look at it is we have 3 here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 9. The next row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, so it doesn't actually help us that way. But basically the pattern that when I made this question, it was literally, if you look at it, each row, each column is increasing by 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we have 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And the final one, we start off with 2. Next one should be 3.
Yeah. 3.
Then we have 2, and next one should be 3. And then we have 1, and the next one should be 2. Got it?
Yep.
Answer is B. All right. Mock exam 4. Mock exam 4. All right. Which question? Mock exam 4. So starting with you, Mustafa, which ones?
I had 7, 8, and 9, please.
Of quantitative?
Yep.
This one?
Yep.
All right. So question number 7, basically it's saying that you have 2 reds, 2 blues, and 2 grays. And the question's asking, what is the weight of 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 gray, right?
Yep.
Because there's 2 of each, when you write it out, you'll get 2R plus 2 black plus 2 gray is equal to 28 plus 32 plus 38. You understand?
Yeah.
And because we're trying to find one of each, we can divide this whole thing by 2, and you get 1R, 1B, 1 gray, 24, 32, 38. And when you add them up, you will get 49.
Right, can we say it again?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example, Mustafa. So let's just say, imagine you have one Snickers and one Kit Kat, right? Costs you $10. One Snickers and one Twix costs you $5. And one Kit Kat and one Twix costs me $7. Okay? Actually, I'll do another example, maybe $20. Okay?
Yeah.
1S, 1K, 2. All right. So right now, the way to, and then my question for you, Mustafa, is how much does it cost for me to buy one Snickers, one Twix, and one Kit Kat? Okay? So an easy way to do it is add this all up. If you add this all up, what do you get? 1S plus 1S plus 1K plus 1K plus 1T plus 1T. What do you get? 2S, 2K, 2T. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you add up the prices of all of them, and you get 10 plus 5 plus 20 is
Pardon?
10 plus 5 plus 20.
35.
Good man. Now, to find out the price of one of them, you just divide the whole thing by 2. So for 1S, 1K, and 1T is 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That
So,
was it.
yeah.
Could you also do it like another way, like because like the red and the blue equals 28,
Yeah.
and then the gray and the red equals 32, so that would mean that the gray is 4 more than blue, and then you could divide 38 by 2, and then that would be 19, and then minus 19 by 2, and then plus 19 by 2.
Absolutely. So you can definitely do all of that. The only downside with doing into breaking down to those steps is just that it gets much more easier to get confused. But yeah, absolutely. That's how I started doing it. Remember, like last week, I started doing like simultaneous equations, but then it gets very confusing.
Yeah.
All right. Next question was question number 8, right?
Yeah.
Question number 8, it says that there's an unusual tower and it's built with cubes starting with 1 in the bottom layer, 4 in the second layer, 9 in the third layer, and so on and so forth. Right, Mustafa? So, first layer, how many cubes are in the first layer?
4. Wait.
1. In the next layer,
Oh, 1.
have 4. In the next layer, how many cubes do we have?
9.
Good man. In the next layer, we have?
16.
All right. In the next layer, we have? Plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus
7 plus 9.
Yeah,
25.
Yeah. The next one we have?
Plus 10. 35.
No. So plus 9 plus 11, actually.
Oh, plus 11.
36, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So when you just have one layer, how many cubes do we have in total? 1,
1.
right? When you have 2 layers, how many cubes do we have in total? So we have the first layer
5.
cube, the second layer. Yeah, good man, 5. In 3 layers, we have
14.
good man. Next, we have
30.
good man. Next,
55.
good man. And the final one?
91.
That's right. So it took 6 layers to get 91 cubes. You understand?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We'll take one last question for today before I go through some final exam tips and tricks.
I wanted 9 as well, please.
9? All right. Let's do 9 as well. So Jack's bathroom is 2.5 meters times 2.2 meters. He tiled the floor with square tiles, all the side lengths being 10 centimeters. Arun, Jack, not sure, placed a single row of stone tiles around the edge of the floor. He covered the rest of the floor with white tiles as shown. How many white tiles did Jack use? So basically, Mustafa, the length of the toilet is 2.5 meters, right? What's that in centimeters?
250.
Good man. So it's 250 centimeters long. And how wide is it?
200 centimeters.
Good man. Now, Mustafa, from the question, do you know how much this length is here, this distance of this one square tile?
10.
Good man. So this is 10 here, and this is 10 here as well, correct?
Yeah.
And what's this width here? 10 and 10, because it's one square tile. You understand?
Yeah.
Like that. So, Mustafa, what is the length here? So it is 250 minus 10 minus 10, correct? Yeah? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
If this whole distance is 250, this distance will be this length and this length taken away from 250, right?
Yeah.
So what's this length here across?
20.
Are you sure? Double check.
What do you mean by the length?
So what's this length here?
250. No, 230.
Good man, 230. And what's this length here?
180.
Good man. All right, good job, buddy. All right, so now we have 230 multiplied by 180 to give you the area of this whole white thing, right? White flooring, correct?
Yeah.
So what's 230 times 180? 0 times, actually, let's ignore the zeros first to save some time. 8 times 3 is?
24. 4 and carry the 2.
Yeah, 8 times 2.
16 and then add the 2. 18.
Good man. 1 times 23.
23.
All right. Add up the 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 3 is 11. Add 1 there.
207.
414, right?
Mhm.
414.
Oh, you said, yeah.
All right. And then remember we took away the 2 zeros. We add them back now. So it's a total of 41,400 centimeters squared, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And how much was the dimensions of a single tile? The tile is 10 by 10, correct?
Yeah.
So the area of the tile is?
100.
Good man. So if one tile is 100 and we have a total area of 41,400, to find out how many tiles we need, we divide this by 100. So you take
Wait, why do we divide by 100 then?
because one tile is 100 and the area of the whole floor is 41,400. So to find out the number of tiles, we divide the area of the floor by the area of the one tile. So another way to think about it is imagine, Mustafa, you are buying paint for your house. Your house has an area of 10,000 centimeters squared, okay? One bucket of paint will paint 100 centimeters squared. So to find out how many buckets you need, you do 10,000 divided by 100 and you get 100. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Are you sure, buddy?
Yeah.
So 41,400 divided by 100 is 414. Got it?
Yeah.
Ask me a question. Ask me, like, for example, imagine you were trying to explain it to your brother or someone else. Ask me something that they might still be confused about. Hello?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about this, Mustafa?
No, it's okay. Thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's it for that session. Let's go through some final tips and tricks for the gate exam that's happening next week. So let me open up the PowerPoint that I had. Master class.
Is the gate exam next week?
Week after next.
Oh,
Thank goodness.
Sorry?
I'm just relieved.
All right. All right.
So what's the date it'll be on?
It will be on the 9th of March. Can you guys see this?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a PowerPoint that we made for last year's class. All the information is still relevant. The only difference is we'll be changing up a few things like the design and stuff for the actual masterclass that we take. But you guys get a first intro. So let's by the way, before I get started, let me just quickly go to, excuse me, water. I'll get you to grab your notebooks and we'll continue. Okay? We might go a bit over time, but I'll just be right back. All right. Let's get started. So, first things first, we have the math section. So, in the quantitative reasoning section, as you guys know, usually it's word problems. Word problems. Make sure to highlight and underline all the relevant information that you have. So, for example, when you're doing a maths question, make sure you understand everything and you underline all the important sections that they say. So a good example is, remember in today's question, we were doing about the fog machine and the light pane. Make sure you underline the part that says what happens when it reaches each light pane. When it becomes dark, it becomes this. When it becomes light, it becomes that. Another example is usually a lot of questions explain using an example how the question works. So what they normally do is something like they would say, whenever you see a light pane, the light increase or decreases, it's additive. And they show you what additive means. They say it starts at 100, then it goes 5, 5, 5, and then it's 115. The actual maths behind the questions are actually easy. So they're usually concepts you studied at school, like fractions, reading, times table, and stuff like that. And do the sections with the most questions first. So in the maths test itself, here's an example. As you can see, on the left-hand side, you have one question with one question associated with this text. On the right-hand side, you have one bit of text and you have 4 questions associated with it.
Melvin,
Usually, yeah.
I remember doing that. I once did that sample test.
Yeah, I did the same test. I've done it like 3 times.
Yeah, it's a sample test, right? Now, in the sample test, as you can see, like here, if you just understood the concept here, you're able to answer 4 questions straight away. But then here, you have to keep switching your, thinking part of your brain for each of the questions. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So it's usually easier when you get to one question with a lot of text associated with it, do those sections first. Okay? But again, it's up to you. Now, with quantitative reasoning as well, a lot of you have asked me, Melvin, how does the Loyola questions compare to the actual test? The easiest way to know how it compares is you guys have done the sample test and you guys have done the Loyola test as well. Which test is easier?
Sample.
Sample.
There you go. And the
Sample.
sample test is made by Acer and is made by the people who make the GATE exam. So if that is easier, then you know that Loyola questions are harder. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Will it
Any-
actually be that easy in the test? Like the sample test questions?
I think they're being a bit cheeky by making it slightly too easy. Like in my opinion, the sample test was quite easy. The only downside is you just have to keep in mind that even though the sample test is easy, it's still 1 minute per question, right?
Yeah.
So they usually trip you up by your time. So whether you finish on time or not. So I do think it'll be this sort of easiness, but it won't, sorry, it'd be slightly easier, but it still wouldn't be easy overall because of how little time you have.
Oh,
Melvin,
Yeah,
can you please go back into the page so I can write the notes?
yeah.
what's the highest mark you've gotten for like, like the GATE thing has gotten for GATE? Like the highest.
The highest I've seen is like mid 300s, like 340, 350 around.
Or
Yeah, that's insanely high.
What's the test out of?
It's out of 400, but most kids even the top kids, they only get about like 250, 260 around that.
My friend got
It's-
245.
Yeah, it's the ones that are
She
really
she
high
found
up like that. Yeah.
Melvin,
Yeah.
wait, did you do tutoring when you were going to the GATE exam?
Actually, I didn't. I rocked up with 0 tutoring.
Oh,
Ow!
how much?
I've
Yeah,
been doing
I was a bit lucky as well.
I've been tutoring for a year.
How much? Did you
Where
like?
else did you go, Momina, for GATE?
What?
Where else did you go? You said you came in Perth to do GATE tutoring, right? Where did
Oh
you go?
yeah, another coaching college.
What's it
And
called?
like this, it's called North Shore, I think. And then like they have like videos online, and you just have like little booklets and stuff.
So
Of
wait,
each.
you did GATE tutoring at North Shore, is that right?
What?
So you were doing GATE tutoring at North
Mock
Shore?
tests. That's why I went to Perth.
Okay.
Melvin,
Yeah.
can't they just bet like the same questions every time and no one will know?
Sorry.
Can't they just put like the same questions each year?
Theoretically, they could, but the thing is,
That'll be rigged, because then
Well-
the people will just tell each other.
exactly, yeah. So like Loyola, so one thing you guys would have noticed is that like Loyola makes a lot of typing errors, right? There might be typing errors or some questions that don't make sense. And the reason that happens is because we try to make new questions for you. So every year when you guys finish the GATE exam, we ask our students, hey, you did the GATE exam just now. How did you feel about it? Do you have any feedback for Loyola? How can we improve the questions and etc. So we don't have the same questions every year. Loyola literally makes new questions every year. And if you were to have the exact same questions every year, then Loyola after time would know exactly what's in the test. And that way, all Loyola kids will get like 100%, which is not desirable. So they just change it up. All right. Any other questions in quantitative reasoning, or can I move on?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay, move on.
All right. In quantitative reasoning, these are these are pretty much the only different patterns you will ever get. So let's go through it. So here we have repeating color patterns. Do you guys know what repeating color patterns are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the repeating color patterns?
Like
It's
if
like-
there's like black, then it moves there. You see the pattern and then
Yep. So imagine one shape, it starts with black, then it goes white, then it goes gray, then it goes black, white, gray, etc. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Color to action. I'm not sure what this pattern is all about. An action to color. I have to double check. Overlapping colors, you guys, like that's basically in mock exam 5, I'll show you an example of this. It is can you guys see my PowerPoint screen here?
yeah.
So in mock exam 5, it's this one here. Oh, this one here, this one. So it's when you have colors that overlap. So black overlaps with gray to give you the stripes there. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right. And then let's continue on. Then we have color movement. The colors are moving. And then it goes to the background. Background changes color, things like that. All right. Next. Oh, by the way, color to action, action to color. Basically, what this is, for example, you know, in some questions where an object moves to a certain position and then it becomes a color?
Yeah.
Yeah, or for example, color could be moving around, and whenever the color goes to a shape, the shape changes. You understand?
Yeah.
Like that. Object rotation. So when you have objects, the objects could be rotating, the objects could be moving. It could be the number of objects, the quantity of objects. There could be similar objects that are the same moving around. It could be missing objects. It could go inside out, and it could just be repeating again and again. If you have shapes, it could be the number of sides, number of corners, number of straight lines, curved lines, lines of symmetry. And finally, alphabet, you could have number of strokes, number of holes, number of straight lines, number of curved lines, lines of symmetry. This is missing one, which is basically, you know, alphabet letters, like alphabet 2 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, missing that. So that's another thing that could come up. Any other questions about this?
No.
No.
Wait, but Melvin,
Yeah.
couldn't in the alphabet things,
Mhm.
can't it be like an alphabetical letter for each
Yes.
order in like numbers? Like
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so that's what I just said. It's missing it in this table here, but that's another pattern you could get.
What about overlapping shapes?
Overlapping shapes. Yes, that's a good. I think. Oh, it's not coming up here, but yeah, that's another one that should come up, like when it overlaps on top. I think yeah, it's I think that comes in this section here, missing objects. Like when it overlaps, it goes missing or it stays like that. But yeah, I should
Yeah.
put that in here. Good spot. Let me actually add those notes. Alphabet 2 letters overlap. All right. Any other questions on this?
no thanks.
Okay. Abstract reasoning, the different strategies you could have. Now, whenever you do abstract reasoning, there's a lot of different features or things that could come up, right? So you have like multiple shapes, multiple colors, multiple lines, things like that. Always focus on just one thing at a time. So choose one feature, whichever one looks easiest, and then work your way back. Work your way one at a time. Do you guys understand?
Wait, can you say that again, Melvin, please?
Yeah. So for example, when you have a question like, let's take a look at question number okay. Can you guys see this PowerPoint? Let me know if you can see this. Can you see these patterns here?
No.
No.
Right. All right. How about now?
Yes.
All right. So in this question here, right? We have, Mustafa, one black, one gray, and one missing, right?
Yeah.
You have three features. Focus on one at a time. Do you understand
Oh, yeah.
what we're saying? That way you can actually try and solve it. Otherwise, you'll get lost essentially.
Yep.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Will we have join time for all of them or like separate time?
Sorry, drawing time.
Joined. So like writing and reading have this like have time combined.
No. Separate time only. All right. Next. Then whenever you do rotation and movement, right? Remember the mapping? Usually, like most of the time, it's an 8-sided map. Otherwise, what are the other most common maps?
4-sided.
8, 4, and then what's the other one?
6.
6.
Good. So make sure it's usually those two. Next, whenever you have similar objects, separate them and choose one at a time. Whenever something is missing, don't think that they've gone away. Imagine that they're usually behind something. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Then finally, whenever you have something moving around and it looks a bit weird, another thing to keep an eye out for is invisible barriers. So for example, in last week's mock exam, we had a question. Let me show you. Not this. It's not this. Mohammed and Mustafa, could you guys not draw on the screen,
I
please?
accidentally did it and then I deleted it straight away.
I didn't even know that I was working on your screen, so I was just testing it.
Okay. What's that question? Not this. Not this.
How can we draw on the screen now?
You can't because it's live screen, so
Right, we can or not?
you can't draw. I mean, you're not allowed to. Where is that question?
These are all the Loyola questions.
Sorry?
These like the Loyola questions, like a few of them.
Yeah, these are like our question bank. So we make it in here and then we just choose it. So like we all make them together and then like this is like a template. We will make the questions on top of this. So as you can see, these are the questions I was working on yesterday, the ones I made yesterday, like you saw in mock exam 5. Okay, I can't find the question here. But do you remember how like there's some questions where it can, so let me show you. So pen, remember, like, so let's just say you have a circle, right? And then you have a dot and it goes all the way around. Coming down here, it goes back up here and it goes again. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
It always only moves in the first half or the second half, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's invisible barriers. So like when an object or something like that can't go past a certain place. So keep an eye out for those as well. So that could come up. Doesn't always come up, but it could come up. All right, next. Stop. I want to go back to my pointer. Okay. Next, we have types of questions you guys will get. There's only 2 types of questions. There's find the next, right? Which is basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and what comes next. The next question type is complete the pattern, which is your grid questions. Remember, it's always rows or columns first. That's the most common pattern. Now, it's usually only rows only, so down, 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 or it's always like, sorry, rows like across, 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 or down, down, down. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
But sometimes the pattern can go both like down and across. And other ways you could always have, remember, if you remember, we have where it goes snake pattern like this. Remember this? Or you could have a pattern like this. Do you guys understand?
Yeah, Melvin.
Yeah.
I didn't get time to write all the notes.
Do you mind taking a screenshot of it?
I'll try.
Okay. I'll send you guys the final version when we make it for the masterclass as well, okay? And then also, Mustafa, this is being live streamed, so you can watch it later on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Also remember, usually don't link the next row. So what that means is that remember in your grid, right? So when you find a pattern across the row, remember to that's it. It stops there. Don't assume that the pattern goes from this to here. Do you guys understand? In rare occasions, that could happen, but it's very rare. Got it?
Oh yeah, that's something that I sometimes get confused on.
Yeah, so it's always just one across. All right. Finally, increase your chance of getting questions right. So basically, remember in abstract reasoning, you might, for example, you might be stuck and you only get one or two features correct, and you're left with A, B, C, D. Remember whenever I did the question, I said, all right, okay, so what, and the pattern is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So that means the answer can't be A and the answer can't be B. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
By simply doing that, and afterwards, if you get stuck, skip it, because that means you still increase your probability of getting the question right by 50%. So now you have a 50-50 chance of getting the question correct versus nothing. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So you narrow down your options.
Perfect, exactly. So if you narrow it down and then you're stuck, then just guess and move on. You understand?
Yeah. But what if you can't eliminate a few options?
Then move on. It's too hard.
Tough luck.
All right. Any questions for me about abstract reasoning? Okay. I want to give you a bit of a cheat code. Now, this is not perfect, but it could sometimes help. All right. So use it with a grain of salt. This is only if you're guessing and you have no idea and you don't even look at the question. All right. The cheat code is when we make questions, and usually what happens is what we do is we make one pattern first and then make the answers as we go. So the way to kind of guess which question is the right one is you start off by looking at the features. Now looking at these options, we know that the black either has to be top left or on the right hand side, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's always there or on the right hand side. And then, okay, this question you actually can't guess at all. Oh, actually you can. And then you can see that the gray is on the left hand side, and the gray is on the left hand side because it's being overlapped. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So that means that my probability of the correct answer being A or D is quite high. We know it can't be C because there's two missing shapes, which doesn't make any sense, right? So there's
Yeah,
more.
but what about B?
Sorry?
What about B?
It can't be A because there's missing a grey one.
Wait. No. I'll explain it to you. So let me see if I can draw it
Is
here.
the gray overlap by the missing one?
No. So what I'm explaining, yeah, exactly, Ayush. But let me explain that to you guys here. So let me annotate. So annotate. Go ahead. It goes back here. All right. So I want to show you this. I want to show you guys this. So let me talk. All right. So if you look at black, it doesn't really help us. Black is always in the top left or the bottom right. So there's no evidence where it could be either A, B, C, or D. Okay? Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
But in two questions, the missing shape is on the left-hand side. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah.
And then the gray shape in two questions is on the left-hand side. And then it's on the bottom right-hand side in two questions. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So if you were to tally up the options, option A has 1 and 2 reasons why it could be option A. Option B actually has, I guess you could say just one reason, and that's being this one here, right? You could say the gray is here and the gray is here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The reason option C is definitely wrong is because there's two missing ones, right? You could have one missing gray because it could be overlapping with the missing one, but that's not correct. And option D has one reason here and zero reason, so just one reason only, because the missing shape is unique to this one here. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So option A has two reasons why. I mean, it has two things in common with the other answers, and that means that it's more likely that the answer is option A. Let's
Melvin.
see if we're correct. Let's see if we were correct. So if you look at it, the pattern for the black is +2, +1, +2. Next one should be +1. Perfect. Cancel out C, cancel out B. Gray is +2, +2, +2. Do you see? Gray goes missing when it overlaps with something else. And next one should be +2. So the answer is A or D once again. Oh, it can't be D. Sorry, it could be. 1 second, Mustafa. Remember, come on. When someone is speaking, don't speak over them. So it could be A or still D. And then finally, the missing pattern, it starts off with gray. Sorry, the missing pattern starts off here. It goes +1 here, and it goes +2. +1 here, and it should go +2 to the left-hand side. So the answer is A. Do you see how we just guessed it and still got the answer A?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
I'll show you another example that might make it a bit easier to understand. So let's take a look at question number. Let's take a look at question number, this one here. I'm going to hide the question and let's see if you can figure it out. So starting with the background colors. Do the background colors help us identify what the correct answer is? Anne, does it?
Yeah.
No, because there's two whites and two blacks. So it could be either or, right?
Yeah.
But then one thing we notice is that in 1, 2, 3 of the shapes, there's one dot on the bottom right corner. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah.
And then in 2 questions, there is a dot on the right-hand side, 1, 2. All right. So we definitely know it can't be C. Well, again, if you're randomly guessing, because A has 1, B has 1 point, D has 1 point. C and D, you can say it, but then, yeah, fine. C and D has 1 point here, 1 point here for the 2 red dots. And then A and B has 1 point here, 1 point here for the one at the top. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But if you look at A and B, do you see how the dots are in the exact same position for both?
Oh,
That means that the answer usually has to be A or B. So now instead of guessing A, B, C, or D, we have a 50% chance of guessing A or B. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
And the correct answer for this question was in fact A. So once again, this is not a perfect solution, guys. There's not a perfect way of doing it, but it does help you if you're guessing without doing any of the thinking behind guessing. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Take a look at this question here. Looking at this, can you guys tell me which answer you would choose if you're just guessing without looking at the question? Mustafa, you had a question earlier. What was your question? Mustafa?
I'd choose A.
Okay.
I'll choose B or C. I think I would.
I'll choose A.
I choose A or B.
All right. By the way, Mustafa, you had a question earlier. Do you want to ask it now?
In the question before that you were trying to explain, Like not the one that you just did, but
Mm-hmm.
the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
You said the answer. Wait, yeah, this one. You said the
Mm-hmm.
answer was A, but the answer was actually C in the answer key.
It wasn't C in the answer key. It's just C here because I made these questions last 2 days ago and I didn't update the answers. But the answer is A.
Oh, so it's yeah. Okay.
All right. So back to this question here. Let's try do the proofs. So we have 1 point for the black dot. So 1 point here, 1 point here, same location. 1 point here, 1 point here for the same location. For the dot at the top, 1 point, 1 point. For the
The
dot on the
chances are
right-hand
pretty
side,
equal.
sorry?
The chances are like kind of close and equal, so I'm not sure which one I'd choose.
Yeah. And the dot on the right-hand side, we have 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. So A has 2 points in total. C has 2 points. D has 3, and B has 2. So if I had to choose, I will go with D. Let's see if we were correct or not. All right. So the pattern for this question here. Oh, what's going on? All right. So the pattern for, let me rub this out. So the pattern for this question is here we have, let me, okay. Can you guys see, oh, is the spotlight working? No. Okay. So if we look across, we have left plus left overlaps and it gives you the left-hand side. Actually, no, sorry. Left plus left overlaps, the bottom disappears. Nothing here, something here, it stays. Nothing here, so something there, nothing here, it stays. Do you guys understand? It's a stacking question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something there, nothing there, sorry, something there. So there should be nothing at the top. Okay? Something there, there should be nothing at the left-hand side. Nothing there, something there. So there should be only one dot on the right-hand side. All right? So already we got the question incorrect. So the answer has to be B or C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then B or C. And then the circle itself, it goes +1, +1, +1, +1 to the right-hand side. The answer is C. All right. So did we do so bad for not even looking at the question?
No.
I don't think so. I think it was fairly good. Again, I think a better logic than what I did was if I just said B and C, if you look at it, they both have the exact same inside shape. I missed that. I was pretty silly. And that's why it should have actually been between B and C, not A and, sorry, A and D. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next section. So that's one thing you can do if you want to, kind of be a bit more increasing your chances at guessing with no skills required. All right, back to this. Oh, how do I? All right. Next, English section. With reading comprehension, read slow, answer fast. So when you're reading the text, read it carefully, make sure you read everything properly, and answer fast. Now, this is made by the previous English teacher, and I don't fully agree. Sometimes some people prefer to read really fast and then come back and look for the specific answers. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So if you're the type of person who can read fast and then come back, that saves you time and you want to come back and do it, do that. You don't have to follow this to the T. Read calmly, make predictions. So when you're going through, especially when you're looking at the questions, try and make guesses as what it could be before you go back and double check for, specific, what do you call it? Evidence for the question. Choose the broadest answer, all question types except literal. So what this means is that sometimes they might ask you a question like, let's just say they ask, who is Mustafa? Option A, a boy. Option B, a student. Option C, a male student at primary school, or option D, a son. Which option is the most correct?
So,
Primary school.
I'm joking.
Option C, because it includes that he's a boy and includes that he's a student, right? It includes option A and B. And usually if he is alive, or if he exists, he must be a son, right? It's not like if Mustafa can just appear from thin air, right? So option C is the best one. Mustafa, you had a question?
Like before, a few teachers told me that before, but first read the first few questions and then read the text, and then if you kind of find a bit of an answer for that,
Yeah,
you start writing it or like looking at the options.
yeah. Yeah, so for example, some people, what they do is like, for example, like my mom was telling me when she was studying for the language test to come to Australia, what she would do is she would read the questions first before even reading the text. That way, when she's reading the text, she knows exactly what to look for. So it really depends on you as the individual, what you prefer to do. Attempt sets with the most types of questions, most amount of questions. So for example, in reading comp, you guys know that some questions, some texts have 6, 7 questions associated, and some only have a few. Do the ones with the least amount of text and the most amount of questions. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So,
Like a poem or that.
sorry?
Like some of them are poems or that.
Yeah, yeah. And then start with infographics as well, because infographics are usually or image-based text, they're usually way less reading to do for the amount of questions you get to do. All right, next, creative writing. All right, few things. Look at common household things that you have in your house and start attaching meaning to these elements. Note down potential narrative ideas you could associate with them. So for example, when you're sitting around, you look at random things and you say, all right, what could I write about this? What could I write about that? This is a way to start practicing idea generation, like how to think of ideas. Remember, choose text types which you're the best at. So for example, the GATE exam is not the time for you to experiment and trying out poetry if you've never done poetry before, or trying out persuasive if you've never done persuasive before. Do the things that you are the best at.
Is it usually going to be like a narrative thing, or will it all be
No,
persuasive?
it's always generic. Like, have you ever seen a very specific text in Loyola's mock exams, Momina? It's always just a very, very generic text type. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they give you black and white pictures?
No, I don't think so. I think the Department of Education will print out a colored version for you. Okay, I'm gonna skip these 2 things because I don't think it's relevant. It needs to be updated. But one tip I will tell you is make sure that when you have the last 5 minutes, you know when they say 5 minutes left, or you look at the watch and it says 5 minutes left, you have to finish the story. Start with the conclusion of your story. Like, honestly, sometimes you can have the best story, and a lot of times if you don't write the ending, it's really, really hard for us to give you good marks. You guys understand?
Split my time. I split the time for each paragraph.
What? The camera. It's in my car. It's in the central console.
Melvin.
Yeah.
So like if you're not about to finish and there's 5 minutes left, what do you do again?
Finish the story. Start ending your story.
Just write the conclusion at the end.
No, yeah, as in like what I'm saying is that like start wrapping up your story. Like don't leave it to the last minute.
But I mean, what if you're still like on like the problem and there's 5 minutes left?
Start finishing it up. Like speed it up. So as in like when you have 5 minutes left, you have to start working on the conclusion.
Like even if the paragraph is small or not detailed?
Yes, unfortunately, you just have to start with the ending because it's much better in the story. Like those stories are read and marked. Usually the ones that actually finish, usually I give more marks than the ones who have a great beginning but no ending.
Melvin.
Yeah.
In like the writing key, I saw there was like nothing about similes and stuff.
Because the GATE writing test is not an English test. It is not an, I know some of you guys have gone to other tuitions, right? For example, like Momina, like you went to North Shore, right? North Shore is such a scam for GATE. And the reason they're such a scam is because they're based in Sydney. And I've seen their papers. Let me guess, Momina, in abstract reasoning for North Shore, did they have like word problems? Like they said, finger is to a tree. Sorry,
Yes.
yeah. Dude, like there's no questions like that in the Western Australian GATE test. They're literally scamming people. Like, why do you practice those question types when it's not in the Western Australian test?
That's what
Similarly,
our parents discussed. That's why they didn't buy these terms.
yeah, so like same thing with like writing. A lot of teachers in GATE writing, I don't understand why they're doing this. They say, oh, focus on all these technical English stuff. Look, I agree with them if it's for NAPLAN or if it's for normal school tutoring. So when you do Loyola's normal tutoring, it's completely different focus. But in GATE, they clearly tell you it's all about creativity. So that's why we don't give marks for the other sections.
Yeah, Melvin.
Yep.
So is Loyola not only a GATE tutoring?
Well, we are starting a year 6 class next term onwards, but it is going to be a very small focused class. So it's more like for kids who have good foundations in like, maths and English, but they want to be the best, like that sort of thing.
So it's not only a GATE
Well,
tutoring.
till now it is. We're going to start year 6s from next term.
Yeah.
All right.
So is everyone here year 5?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are all
No.
year 6.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
normally start year 5 and go to year 6.
I'm 6.
Yeah. All right. So leading up to the day of the exam, go home, write a little summary about today's points, sleep early, drink water, sleep. Make sure you get sleep, make sure you sleep enough. During the week, starting on, practice quantitative reasoning, review the answers, sleep early. By the way, I actually disagree with this. You should do a bit more work and you should do a lot more writing. Do a lot more writing practice. Like right now, I wouldn't worry too much about quantitative reasoning if I were you, and I wouldn't worry about reading comp. I would focus a lot more on abstract reasoning and writing because the other two are, you can't improve with such little time left. The day before the exam, make sure you pack everything. So pack your bag, include the following things: a pencil case with pencils sharpened already, erasers, a clear water bottle, a watch, not a smart watch.
Why do you have to have a clear water bottle?
I think the teacher who did this class, when she made it, she was based off what year 12 and then university exams are like. When you do exams in year 12 and university, you cannot have water bottles with writing on it because you could use it for cheating.
That's what
Right.
goalkeepers in soccer sometimes do.
Yeah, I doubt they will make you do that in year 5. All right, finally, on the day of the test itself, make sure you take a deep breath and you answer everything. Like literally, make sure you answer everything. Don't leave anything blank. All right?
Yeah, even if you're guessing.
Even if you're guessing, like answer everything because if you answer,
Do you lose marks if you get it wrong?
Not in the GATE exam. Not in the GATE exam. So answer everything. Make sure you guess. And again, the other tip for guessing, guess the same letter throughout. So if you're guessing, guess A, or B, or C, or D.
Yeah,
Right?
in the tutoring my brother went to, the teacher said that someone once had like barely any time left, and then he just started guessing B.
If I were giving a suggestion, I would either choose B or I'd choose C because they're usually the most common letters that come up in the test. All right. So that's pretty much for the GATE exam. Now, I just want to give you guys a few final words from me to you guys. As you guys know, I run Loyola. I'm the owner of it. But one of the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about with Loyola itself is why I'm running it. So why do I do Loyola? What's the whole reason? And the main reason we do it is because I really like teaching, and I genuinely think that you guys will grow up and do incredible things. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, let's take Mustafa, for example. I remember I started taking Mustafa's class back in term 4 of last year. So I just came back from America and started taking. And there's Mustafa, and there's a girl called Zainab. Do you remember Zainab, Mustafa?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mustafa and Zainab, these two kids, if I'm being very honest, as a teacher, I could tell they would show up and not do their homework. And then because they didn't do their homework, they would ask me the same question again and again and again. But over time, the amount of like growth I've seen in Mustafa, like where he started off to where he's now, it's incredible. Like, this kid's like working crazy hard. He's doing really well. He's answering all the smart questions. Very, very good job, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Same thing with both Momina and Ayush. You guys obviously were doing really well in my class. I really enjoyed teaching you guys. You guys are also both very, very smart. Awesome work. Then there's Jace. I remember Jace from term 2. The reason I remember Jace was in term 2, he was like very confused about abstract reasoning. And his mom reached out on Facebook and she was like saying, hey, I don't get any of this stuff. But literally in a span of like a couple of terms, Jace is now like a gun. Like, he comes to my online Zoom classes and he's always like answering questions. Then there's Anne, or last but not least. She's also started off as a bit shy, but now she's doing so well. Like, over the time, she asks good questions, she answers them, she's very engaged. And although I wish I could have spent more time with, Momina and Anne, because you guys are new kids, I still enjoy teaching you guys. But the last thing I really want to tell you guys is this. The GATE exam, it's not the only thing in the world, right? I am still proud of all of you guys, even if you don't pass the GATE exam. Like, although I'm a GATE tutor, I know you guys will go and do incredible things, even if you don't pass the GATE exam. So if you don't get the score you wanted, or if you don't get into the school you wanted, don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't think that you're not smart. Don't think that you're dumb. Don't think that other people are smarter than you. Because, guys, life is a marathon. Do you guys know what a marathon is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A running race.
It's a very, very long running race. It's 40 kilometers. Just
Yeah.
because someone else is winning in the first kilometer doesn't mean they're going to win by the 40th kilometer. Make sure that you span things out over time so that you can win the long race, not the short one, right? Make sure that you keep up your attitude of being polite, being honest, your curiosity, wanting to learn new things. And most importantly, the last thing I really want you guys to keep in mind is that all of you are very, very important. Like, there's a very, mathematically, if you guys know, the total number of like variations of a human that could ever exist is in the trillions, right? And so far on Earth, we've only had about maybe 30, 40 billion people, like in the entire human history. So what that means is that there's literally no one who was born on this planet before that was like you. And again, looking at a statistic, there will never be someone who was born as a human being who will be like you. So each of you guys are very unique and very special, and you guys each have a purpose on this planet. So make sure as you go through high school and you go do your university and you go do your, jobs, make sure you work on things that are important that you believe in, and make sure you always try to be the best in whatever you do. Whether you want to be a race car driver, whether you want to be an artist, a movie star, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is, make sure to always aim to be the best. Okay? And if you guys end up doing some cool things, reach out to me and let me know what you guys are up to. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Melvin.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Like, where's my ethnic background?
Yeah.
I'm Indian. I'm from India.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melvin,
Yeah.
did you also do GATE?
So yeah, there you go. So I did do GATE, but I didn't get in the first time I did GATE. And I did it the second time in year 10 actually, and I got into Perth Mod. Here's another example, like, of how you don't have to worry about succeeding or failing. Let me tell you a story about year 12. So in year 12, like all through my high school, I wanted to get into to be a lawyer. Like that's what I wanted to when I grew up. I wanted to be a lawyer because I was really good at public speaking and I really was interested in politics and stuff like that. So I wanted to be a lawyer. In year 12 in Perth Mod, everyone in my class wanted to be a doctor, right? Everyone in Perth Mod wanted to be a doctor. So I decided I too wanted to be a doctor. Not because I liked being a doctor, not because I thought that I could help people as a doctor, but because everyone wanted to be a doctor. And guess what? You can make a lot of money being a doctor. So I tried really hard in year 12. I got really fat as well. So I went from 70 kilograms to 95 kilograms. I became really, really fat because I was studying all the time, eating junk food and everything. And in the end of the year, I got my, results back for the medical entrance exam. And I didn't get high enough to get into medical school. And I was devastated. I was really sad. And I was like, oh, great. My life is a failure. I'm stupid. What was the whole point for? And then I was really sad. And then a few days later, I get a call from Curtin University, so the university I went to. And Curtin offers 10 scholarships every year, only 10, right? And I was, given that scholarship. So I was one of the 10 people who was chosen for that scholarship, right? So I was like, wow, okay, my life is great. Then I started studying law at Curtin. 3 years later, after studying law, I started Loyola tutoring as well. Loyola became so big that I had to drop out of law school. And like most of you guys, I feel horrible for quitting things because I feel like I failed if I quit something. And when I quit law school, my parents thought I was pretty dumb for doing that. My family friends thought I was pretty dumb. My friends thought that I was not smart enough to do law school, blah, 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 blah. Couple of weeks ago, so when you guys did mock exam 1, was my graduation. And it was the same day that all of my friends from law school and me in the business school, we all graduated together. And once again, Curtin University invited me to be the speaker for that day because of all the things that I've done with Loyola. So what I'm saying is, things might not work out the way you want it to be, but when you look back at life, you realize that everything makes sense. And life, listen, if you guys are honest about the things you do, like if you don't lie, if you don't cheat, if you don't steal from people, and if you work insanely hard, and you work on things that make the world a better place, or you follow your passion, over time, you will always win. Like it's impossible for you to fail. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Reach out if you guys do some incredible stuff. I always would love hearing back from my old students. And yeah, I might see you guys on Wednesday and the other online classes. Bye.
Bye.
Um,
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Bye, Melvin.